And go.
I remember what you cooking, man.
Hi, good morning. Welcome back, everybody. Good to see you. Another episode of Iron Minds. We got myself, Michael Lombard, Pedro Potato. How we doing, guys?
Almost, I forgot it was Tuesday. I think we all forgot it was Tuesday.
I know
Lombard.
we got kind of out of the habit for a while, and so I
We
remember
blame it on Trey.
I've been starting to do hit you up the night before or something, and then I just didn't even know what day it was. So I'm glad that Lombard was on top of it this morning.
I honestly didn't either, man. Like usually, my alarm is set for 4:50, and I'm up between that time and 5:30, just depending on how much I hit snooze. And I was just snoozing it away because I did not think that it was Tuesday. I was like, I ain't got nothing to do. I ain't got to clock into work till 7. I'm gonna just lay here and sleep. Then my phone starts going off. Like, what is this crap? Here's Lombard. Are we ripping today, guys?
We ripping?
We're ripping. Oh man.
Well,
Dude,
I did talk to
Lombard,
Trey
isn't it
last
nice
week
out here,
too,
bro?
What's up?
I said, isn't it beautiful weather out here today? I don't know what it's like over there where Nick's at. It's daylight there, but man, it's a beautiful day to be up getting some movement in.
Dude, it's
It
just
sure
humid
is.
here. It's just humid. It's just gross. The last few days, like, just keep swimming. That's the weather. You go outside, you're wet. You think about going outside, you're wet. You look at outside, you're wet. It's just today's actually not as bad as it's been, but like it's been pretty disgusting.
It's my favorite time of year, honestly. I love oppressive heat. I love triple digits. I love the humidity. Like that's it. Like so many people lately, and I don't even know why. People here in Texas, they know that's that's what you get. They know that's the arena that they're in. Yet people still find a way to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't wait for a little bit cooler weather. It's like, you know what? And this is something, and actually, I brought this up before, but there's a perpetual, like, it's like a mind virus from in the Northeast that people have, where people always can't wait for the next season. I hear this a lot. I hear this all the time, and it happens. Like there are so many people in Connecticut. Once July 4th is over, they're like, man, I need it to be Halloween. They're like, I'm so done. Like their entire brain is just like, I need. It's like they can't even like it's always looking ahead or looking in the past. People are always complaining about what's happening right now, why it's uncomfortable right now, why they can't wait for this. Because then once Halloween's over, it's like, oh my God, I want it to be Christmas so bad. And then once Christmas and New Year's is over, you're in the doldrums back in Connecticut, and they're like, sleet again, cold again. It's like this perpetual cope of waiting for the next season. And it's like, you know what you're getting. Like the more you keep wishing and wanting the next thing, and then people wonder, they're like, oh my God, why is time flying by so much? I'll never understand that logic.
It's
I don't either.
it's a good point. You see a lot of the you'll see memes on social media, one in the winter, one in the summer, and somebody's like, whoever's complaining about how hot it is better shut up whenever it's really cold, and then vice versa. Well, I remember that way growing up in New England too. Although I will tell you, back then I was the last person who was ever going to complain about the heat. For me, and the time always went by too fast. it was like, how do we slow this down? Because I absolutely hated winter. And you get this from having grown up there too. But remember, I was on an island, so come Labor Day, that place was a ghost town. Winter was like nuclear winter, so it was pretty night and day.
Yeah, it's got to be depressing. So I just, again, yeah, that's why I always still recommend Goggins' first book, because it'll make you yearn for the harder of the hardest of the hard. Like give me triple digits. Oh, it's hot and I've got to run. Good, great. I'm like, it's another excuse to be uncommon amongst the uncommon, in my opinion. It's just like, as everybody else complains about the current situation, how do you rise above it? So it's like, and I've just slowly built that year over year, where it's like, oh, it's triple digits. Oh, it's super humid. Oh, it sucks. Good. It's supposed to suck, because everything else in real life sucks. Everything else with work, everything else with work. And yeah, once you learn to love and get out into this, just overall, like, that's the philosophy of that book. When you intentionally go out and do some of that suffering, again, the regularness of your day-to-day life doesn't get any easier. You get harder.
When you've heard me complaining about my heat intolerance now for a couple of years, and yet with the month before Ironman, summer took its time getting here to Florida. I didn't understand it. It's usually 1,000 degrees in March, but it really waited till like late April. And so I did all my runs in the middle of the afternoon, hottest part of the day, just trying to heat acclimate and get used to it. And I think it helped me out on race day. But I will tell you that when I was sitting around in a broken neck, miserable as hell, I did think about that and my ability to just sit in the suck, to just sit in the suffer, to say, just sit in it. We're so resistant to pain and discomfort that, like you talked about with the weather, anything that we're not perfectly satisfied with, we start looking to the next thing, when sometimes we just need to sit in the discomfort, just be there, just experience what's happening. You get stronger, you get better, you handle the next thing better. The next thing isn't easier, you just got better.
Yeah, and we have the comfort to seek. Like, there's a limited amount of time we're in these situations, because we have AC, like air conditioning and heat. Like everything is temporary. Where for the most part, all of our ancestors never had that choice. Like, it was hot. The only air conditioning they got was in the shade. Like that was it. You were hot until the sun went down. You were cold until the sun came up. Like, you needed to wear this, and that's our ancestors for most of history. So like, just the fact that we have temperature control in what we do and where we go, even getting in the car, like, that's the thing. Like, to go from point A to point B, we can get inside a temperature control environment. So what we are experiencing is so temporary compared to what it used to be. We have no grounds to complain.
I remember I went on a tour in Salem, Mass, about 2 years ago, and they were trying to help us understand, like, just how stressed that the people were at that time, before, like, during the witch trials and whatever. And they were talking about the weather and how cold it was, and how back then you would have a fire. You would keep like a pail of water next to your fire in case it caught fire or something, in case the fire spread. But that it was so cold that the pail of water would just be freezing.
A different time. We used to have to read a book where you needed a freaking candle.
I used to have to write my own outreach emails.
Yep,
those days. Everything I just said, that one got me right there.
Yeah, dude.
I saw somebody the other day, was like, our parents were the ones who were, I had to walk like 5 miles in the snow, uphill both ways and stuff. And now it's like, wow, I had to write my own papers and do my own research. I had to go to the library to learn something, or I actually had to type a whole question before I could learn something.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was talking to our boy Trey Griggs yesterday. We recorded a nice little podcast talking about Manifold, and he, I know he's been quoted. He thinks the days are coming where a $100 million freight brokerage will be ran by one man. Can you imagine?
I can't. I think every time, and I love Trey, and I love his position on this too. But every time somebody talks about that, they forget about the shipper. Everybody forgets about the actual customer.
Yeah, the person who needs the product move.
Yeah,
That's the
like
variable.
there are so many things that we can solve with AI. Which, by the way, if you 5 minutes with AI only tells you how imperfect AI still and currently is, but it takes more than that, humans, just to make sure that it's not making mistakes on simple tasks. And I think and this has been the thing with freight technology all along. Like, it's always about broker efficiency and matching loads and blah, blah, blah. And so little of it reaches the end user. So little of the technology out there actually helps the shippers, the customers run their businesses better.
Here's the irony of freight technology. And I don't know if anyone else is picking up on this. In an industry where every other word out of everyone's damn mouth is relationship, all everyone's doing is trying to find a way to use technology to replace humans. Hypocritical much? Ironic much? Just funny to me. Just, I don't know if I'm the only one that sees that. So I guess
I'm not saying it
we can
won't
just let
happen, by
that
the
one
way.
sit and
I'm just saying
ponder.
there's a lot of variables that have to, there's a lot of variables. There's not a simple fix here. I mean, I'm not one of
No,
those
but that's
guys
what
that
they're pushing
say,
to.
what's that?
I said, no, there are a lot of variables, but that's what they're pushing to, man. They're pushing to put, that's exactly what they're pushing to with that phrase. So it's crazy, doing it with a lot of stuff, right? Trying to make people more comfortable, as Nick was, or as Lombard was saying, and you were saying a moment ago, Nick. That's what they're doing, making people more comfortable, making life easier. So you don't know what the suck is. You ain't got to push a little harder and all of that. I don't know. I think technology is a fine one, guys, right?
You
Fine
know what
line.
though? I mean, this is not a new conversation. Like, machines are going to take my jobs. The automobile is going to take my job. The internet's going to take my job. A TMS is going to take my job. When are you going to learn your fucking lesson? Easy jobs go away. Easy
Very
jobs
true.
go away.
True.
Like, they always have, they always will. Like, we can resist it, but it's going to happen. So Trey's not wrong. It's just how long? How long and what does that really look like? A lot of these jobs go away. Man, I remember I used to have to twist this guy's arm and work for me for so long. He refused to pick up the damn telephone. And it was all emails for him. And he was so convinced that he had all these relationships. And I'm like, bro, if I fire you right now, your customer will never know the difference. Like, you become, yeah, email is the tool. That's it. They have an email address and you don't even need to be on the other side of it.
Relationships. Yeah, we've just been talking about relationships and comfort. Relationships are difficult. Like to build a good relationship with somebody, it's again, and this is like zoomed out kind of philosophy right here. But relationships with anybody are based off of in today's world, and is in so many ways it's based off of emotion. If somebody's making us feel good, we do things that make us feel good. Where a good relationship with somebody, and this is in business or with a partner or with a friend, is uncomfortable. The best relationships are built off of conviction, not off of emotion. And by conviction, that means like a relationship, especially in this industry, is built off of you doing something for somebody with no expectation of something in return, or you doing something for somebody when that person needs it, when you may need something. It's you going out of your way because of that conviction. And that's what makes a business, and that's what makes a relationship successful, is when it's based off of pure conviction, not just emotion, not just because you like them at that time or because they caught you in a good mood. It's showing up when you need to. It's fulfilling a responsibility that you need to do on who you've declared that you're going to be for this person. Conviction is a huge part that, yeah, I mean, will more AI, kind of, put some people out and everything like that. But because there's that, I asked Trey that question yesterday. The real $1 million question is, if everybody has the same AI, who has the competitive advantage? What's the competitive advantage if everybody's on the same AI field? And it would still have to be, you're right, the shipper comes into it. Who has the most conviction for that shipper is who has the competitive advantage.
I think that, and you made up Right, a good point. And this does go back to why we're here in the first place. Like everyone needs a tribe. It's one thing about, and I'm just going to keep using the Chase example of the $100 million brokerage with one man. Could one man run it with AI in the future? Maybe. I don't know a single broker out there who's building $100 million brokerage by themselves either. I just feel like there's a lot of moving parts here, but there is an evolution to it, right? Where everybody's doing the same thing on AI. But then there are the people who are constantly looking for the advantage. Invariably, new outcomes will arise. I mean, that is what competition is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to foster innovation and new ways of using the tools that we have to solve the problems that are already there. And even though, the internet, social media, even AI continues to drive wedges into our humanness and separate us, by the same token, we all met on social media, and here we are streaming live on the internet. We found ways to use those tools that keep us apart to actually bring us together.
That's a good white pill version to look at technology, which is the way we have to view it. And it's kind of the way we have to use it in all of its bad, in all of its negativity, in all of what it's doing and how it's separated people. How can you actually leverage it to make it work for you, to make you feel better, to improve your situation rather than hurt it?
Or even to your point earlier, how do I use it to help others? How can I use the tools available to me to even help me in my relationships? And I don't have that answer. I'm just thinking, why not?
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, social media is Pandora's box in a way. We can't put the lid back on it. And it's sort of this free range tool where you can use it for bad. You can use it for harm. You can use it if your pure intentions with social media is this is how I'm going to make money, then how you're probably using it probably isn't always going to take you down the best path of moral character. But if you purely look at social media as a tool of this is how I'm going to help and connect and help people, if that is your only view, and I'm saying this as a business too, only because I know so many personal trainers who obviously sell online coaching. And if your pure intentions are to use this to tap in a demographic or niche of people you're trying to help, and that's what you're doing, then you'll win every time. But if you're not using it for that pure intention and there's other motives behind it, then you're going to lose. It's going to burn your mental health. It's going to burn you out. It's going to make you feel like crap. It's going to make you feel resentful. That's where it's going to lead you.
I actually think that social media isn't a terrible metaphor for life in that sense, especially because these days the way the algos push negativity and ads and this and that. When you're on social media, you have to actually make an effort to make genuine connections, which is how it is in life. We have to walk through the noise to put ourselves out there and to actually look for it, to choose to scroll past something that isn't healthy in the search of something that can either stimulate my brain or foster a relationship or move something else forward. It's hard to be decisive when, let's be honest, social media doesn't exist for us. It exists for the advertisers. So like anything, we have to make, what was the word you said? It was conviction. We have to be convicted. Yeah, we have to be convicted in what we're actually doing. When you find yourself doom scrolling or whatever, like you're not serving relationships, you're wasting time. You're not trying to learn something, you're wasting time. Because there are so many different ways to leverage. And by the way, something I think I'm going to start doing for myself, and I'm probably going to do this on Friday, is something I'm going to call No AI Day for my mental health, where I just simply will not use any AI.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I made a video about something similar last week in regards to the Sabbath day and like Sundays. And you had commented on that post. I was talking about blue laws. And, because I've been thinking lately about how and people are doing this where they'll do a cleanse 3 days, whatever, almost like fasting. They'll do some fasting from technology and social media. They'll log off on it. And when I think about it, when you think about something like the 10 Commandments in general, and that's what the video is about, 10 Commandments have been around for thousands of years. These were given to Moses, and essentially every society has operated off of some version of the Ten Commandments. That's a quote from Boondock Saints, like right at that end scene, that tough scene where he basically says, every society is lived off of don't kill, don't steal, so the Ten Commandments aren't some sort of like very, strict, important rules basis. But if you notice in the first four, in those first four, commandments 1 through 4, it's about a relationship with God. And that first one, have it, there's one, you'll have no other gods before me. But that fourth one, you'll honor the Sabbath day and keeping it holy. That one right there, the idea of rest, the idea of this one day is not dedicated towards anything else but your faith and worship. And that is the hardest one for people to follow. And you see, and I know I remember I had a job in 2015, an internship where there was this group of Orthodox Jewish people, and and I'm sure we all know people who live that way, where sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, there's no technology, all that stuff. And
my buddy can't race on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
he can
it's
race, he just can't get there.
you got to walk there yourself or something like that.
Or
And
use his phone to register. Yeah.
I think it's some of it. I think the idea of not using electricity is a little like, okay, I get it, but it's like, I think lighting your home is I don't know. It's a debate for a different day. But if we think about that, this idea of actually turning things off, not focusing on the outside world, not doing those things, it's so uncomfortable for people to the point where we need to be open, we need to have the restaurant open, we need to make money, we've got to make the revenue, we've got to do this. And then you realize, like, oh, maybe that fourth commandment was put in place for us, for the mental health, to get away from the negativity and all the evils of the world and all that stuff. It was kind of an interesting way to think about things when we think about, especially here in the modern world with all the technology at hand. It's like, man, is an off switch really just what we need? I mean, it seemed to have worked for civilizations in the past. It's like, is that what we need? Is like a certain day, a dedicated day of an off switch of just the outside world and not what's happening in our immediate community. Been really thinking about that a lot lately.
It's interesting, the interpretation. I love the way you said that, because you get me thinking.
And it's crazy because when you think about it, the fourth commandment is before don't kill. Like it is on of a hierarchy and a digital scale. Like the honoring the Sabbath and keeping it holy is higher on the list than do not kill and do not steal. Which tells me it's like, well, maybe commandment 4 is there because once it's followed, killing and stealing and coveting and the other commandments become like second nature. It's like once you take care of the first 4, the rest really take care of themselves in a way. Like take care of the big things, when you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. When you think about, the Sabbath is a little thing. It's a little thing to keep holy. Killing is very serious. That's a big thing. So you take care of the Sabbath, the rest take care of themselves. But yeah, go on.
I was going to say, there's an expression, I'm sure it's not just for us alcoholics, but it's where I heard it. HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And when we're those things, or when we do those other things. And so, yeah, it is interesting. I actually, I'm not a religious man, I'm a spiritual man. And I like hearing people's perspectives on religion and how things evolved. And it's just you just put the little light bulb above my head with this whole like, dude, the fourth commandment said you need to rest for your mental health. Like, that's how I heard it. And it, like, the evolution of things and how it applies to our world today. And it's true. Like, when my mental health is suffering, everything else suffering. And that's when I am most likely to, kill people or do other terrible things.
For as great as technology is in doing this podcast and recording, we definitely, as humans, we're not meant for this caliber of connectivity, because we do live in a point now, and my wife goes through this a little bit. I think everybody does. And if you have an email address, we now, and I'm guilty of it. I'm sure we're all guilty of it. Like we now expect people's attention in times where in our lifetime where that was not a reality. Like we now, because everybody is so reachable 24/7 by multiple streams, whether it's computer, whether it's cell phone, whatever it is, like we're so used to having and getting people's attention, we think we deserve it whenever we want. So when we text them, or when we call them, or when we shoot them a message on the internet, or when we comment on their post, we're expecting their immediate reply. And if they don't, it's taken as a form of disrespect. And this includes the workplace. Employers have gotten into a position to where, oh, I can reach my employees anywhere, anytime. And if they don't answer, clearly they're not a team player. They don't have the conviction that I have for them, that I rely on them. And it's like, that's not how the world has ever worked. Not even in the Middle Ages, on the days of feudalism and peasants, has that ever worked, that level of connectivity. And I think we need to realize, like, we're not wired for that, and I don't think we ever will. I don't think evolution is going to catch up with that idea.
Can you imagine walking around the supermarket and just having like a little number above your head with your impressions?
Yeah, how many people are viewing you?
Exactly. Like, yeah, these people are paying attention to me.
Dude. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's like that Nickelback video where they have the
The emojis or whatever. Light bulb. Yeah.
Their life, the time on their life they have left, the timers above it. I'm pretty sure that was a Nickelback song.
I think you're right. That's a good one. That would be. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the craziness of society would be then? You've got 5 more people watching you, and 2 of them are my friends.
It's like have you seen the movie Vacation, the reboot that they did a couple years ago?
I have
Probably.
not.
First, you have to. It's a really good movie. Second, there's a scene in the beginning where this one woman is showing like the main character her trips on her Facebook from her trip to Paris, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I like that." She goes, "Did you? Because I don't see that you did." And she's like, "No, yeah, I totally liked it. Really? Because you see, Lombard, he liked it. He pressed like." And she's like, "Oh, I just didn't get to it yet." "Oh yeah, because it's hard to press a button, right? So you didn't like it? Like all my other friends liked it, but you didn't like it." Like made this big thing that she didn't press like on her photograph.
Yeah, man, we're coming that way, but I think the pendulum's definitely going to swing back the other way. Trey and I were talking about on the podcast yesterday, where, yeah, now it's a luxury now to not have to be using technology. That's a vacation. That's taking time off. Like, I think people are kind of realizing the negative aspects of being chronically online, which is definitely a product of what, something like that COVID did. And it's kind of swinging back the other way, where people are starting to have this higher level of thinking about how connected we are. Man, there's mad bugs out here.
Well, I don't know. We've got about 40 people watching us here right now, and either nobody's making comments today, or the same distance is set up right. So one or the other. But
we must have some early AM freaking hungry dogs on Twitter who wanted to just jump in the chat and get fired up on Iron Minds Tuesday. So big shout out to anybody who jumped in live. We're riffing here every Tuesday. We're doing some form of movement. We're getting after it. We're talking about fitness, freight, and you name it. That's what we do on Iron.
Oh, today, hold on. Today we got fitness, freight, faith. What else we got on there? We really packed it in today.
Yeah, technology. That's what we're always just riffing on, why you need to stay motivated and get after it. I mean, it's the dog days of summer. We're in the middle of August. It's hot wherever you're at. It's still going. Yeah, the cold weather's coming soon, but now more than ever, leaning in, as we lean in, going towards the back end of 2026. I want, people at this point need to revert back to where their minds were on January 1st and think about how you were talking to yourself. And if you haven't renegotiated some of those contracts where you said you were going to buckle down and change some things, now's the time to revert back to who you were on December 31st and January 1st, and freaking wake up and start realizing what you're capable of and what you can do. Testimony after testimony of people who are on, Matt Johnson right now, a good friend of mine. He's in the middle of doing 7 Ironman in 7 days. He's up in New Jersey, and I saw a video, and he's raising money for veterans for an organization called Valor Fit. And Valor Fit posted a video yesterday of a guy with no legs doing some strict shoulder presses at like a CrossFit gym. And so again, this, you know, I saw that video and it just drove home what Matt's doing. So if you're somebody who thinks, oh, I'm 45, I can't lose the weight, I can't do X, Y, Z, wake up, you're wrong. And there's an entire, and because of the internet, there's millions of people who will tell you exactly why, how, and why you're wrong. And you just need to wake up and start building some
Dude,
habits.
5 minutes on a Spartan course, and you will see that whatever you think is wrong with you is nothing. There is nothing more powerful to me than being out on that course when the adaptive athlete is out there crushing it. And we all have our own frame of reference, and I've never been one of those people who say like, oh, somebody always has it worse. Like, that doesn't matter. That's not my life. But what people are capable of doing and the decisions that they make, despite the things that they've gone through, the level of inspiration is just undeniable. I've never left a course not feeling better than when I showed up. And it's always because of the community and the things that you see people are doing. And it puts it in perspective of, you know, it's like, you don't even know if I have a broken neck anymore. I might just have a tight one, right? So like, what are the things that how much am I going to allow this to ruin my life when I can see what other people are capable of doing simply by the choices they're making, the actions they're taking? It doesn't mean they've changed their situation, but they changed their life.
Well said.
Well, it looks like we're about on it. Pedro, you got any words of wisdom to take us home?
Only words of wisdom I got are step from behind your screen, whatever size it is, go outside and experience nature and what real oxygen feels like. That's all I got to say. Go outside, touch grass, feel the sun on your skin, and sweat a little because it's summer.
Perfect. Drop Mike. Lombard, anything else or want to bring us home?
Whatever you're holding on to, let it go. You know, I just saw this video yesterday. It was this monk or priest talking about, you know, going to people on their deathbeds, and he said about how they like so many of these people, all they wanted was just a couple more hours or another day so they can forgive, and receive forgiveness from people in their lives. And that's what they were clinging on to on their deathbed, was this feeling of regret for not forgiving other people. And I think, and like, you know, it raised the hair on my skin in such a way. So whatever you're holding on to, anything, you need to forgive no matter what. You know, and whether or not you're forgiven doesn't matter, but forgive anybody around you, what it can do to your mind and your own conviction. It will change. It's almost like it's like the lightning fast medication for your soul. So whatever you're holding on to, forgive it, forgive others, and frickin' dig deep and let's get after it.
Let's go. Thanks all for joining us as iron sharpens iron. One man sharpens another. We'll see you all on the other side. Let's go. Let's get it.